number 3, where we show what is IO field and how you can use it. IO field is an object which you can find in the toolbox of your HMI project and in the elements window. So here is IO field. You can use it in your HMI project by drag and drop it to the screen. Okay, how you can see, here is our IO field. I make it a little bit bigger to see it better. Okay, this is IO field. Now we go to the properties of this object and see what we can do with this object. So IO field is used for the displaying the value of your internal HMI tag or the external tag which is connected with your PLC tag, or you can use it for the inserting the value to your internal or external tag. So for this you want to define which tag you use for this IO field. This you can do in the general property and in the section process, in the window process. Here you insert which tag you want to use for this object. So before I create some text, okay, and now I use internal integer tag. So in this example we show how to change the integer tag by this IO field object, and also how to show the value of this tag by this IO field object. So okay, now we here insert the tag. Then we can also, under the general property, change the type of this IO field. Within mode you have 3 modes: input, where you can only insert the value to this tag, or output, where you can only show the value of the tag which is inserted here, but you can't change the value of this tag. Or you can have mode input and output, where you can display the value of this tag and also change this value. So for this example we use input and output mode. Okay, then you can change the format of the value which is displayed in this IO field. For now we use decimal, and format pattern, for example 3 numbers of the number, 3 places. Also you can insert the decimal places. Here you can see, okay, we don't use it for now. So okay, now we go to the property appearance, where you can change the background of this IO field. For example, we change the color to light blue, and also you can change the corner radius. This means we make this object a little bit rounded. How you can see, for example, when it's 20, the value of the corner radius, then the corners are rounded. Okay. Then you can change the color of the text. I make it more black. And also you can insert the units after the value. This means, for example, we use degree Celsius. For example, we display the value of the some temperature. Okay, we click on the enter, and how you can see, after the value we see the units of this value. Okay, then you can change the border of this IO field. For example, we make it wider, and use solid style and change the color of the border to black. Okay. Then there is a characteristic which you can use for the hidden input. How you can see, specify that the runtime input is hidden if entered with stars. Everybody know what is hidden input. Okay. Then there is a layout where you can change the position and the side of this object in X and Y direction, and also change the size of this object. Okay, that is simple, how you can see. Okay, this is the fit the object content to the size. Okay, we don't use it. How you can see, you can no longer set a numerical value to define the object size if you have enabled auto sizing. This means, how you can see, we have small size of font, and by this we fit the size of the IO field object to the size of font. But later we change it, so for now we don't use it. Okay. Also you can say the margins of the value which is displayed inside the IO field. How you can see, we make a bigger margin for the left corner, for example. Okay, but also we don't use it for now. Also you can use the right margin, top and bottom. Okay. So this is margins. Then there is a text format property where you can change the format of the displayed value and also the alignment of this value. For example, we change the size of the font of the displayed value, for example, to 32. Okay, we make it bigger. We still have a place. 48. Okay. And also you can alignment this value. For the horizontal alignment we use centered. Your value is centered inside the IO field. You can also use right horizontal alignment, and as default was left. Okay, we use centered. Then you have the vertical alignment. For example, alignment it to the top, how you can see, or down, or in the middle way. Okay. Then there is a flashing setting. This you can use for flashing your value and the background in the HMI runtime. For now it's disabled, but you can enable it, or you can use the flash on the limit violation. This means if you have some limit in your HMI tag which you use here as a process tag over this IO field, then again the IO field background and the value start flashing. Okay. Then here is a limit colors of your background of your IO file. This means same like before in the flashing, when the limits are violated in your HMI text, then your background have this color which you define for the high limit violated, and when the low limit is violated in your tag, then this color is set as a background. These limits you can set here in the range, how you can see, in the range of the tag. Yep. Okay. Then you have here styles and design option. This you can use if you have your own style of the HMI IO field object. Then you can choose your HMI style of this object. This we show later in lessons. Okay, also here you can change the name of the object. For example, we change the name to temperature IO field, and also you can insert this object to your created layer, for example to layer number 1. How to work with layers and what is layers you can show in previous lesson. Okay, and also you can here write some tooltip. For example, this is temperature, I don't know, of the oil. Then here is the property security, where you can define the authorization for this IO field, for the using of this IO field. This means if you define some users in your HMI and all of these users have some authorization level, and for example if you want to create the authorization for this IO field only, for example for admin, then here you insert this user. This admin must have user administration rights, and then if they click on this IO field and he don't have these rights, he can't operate the value of this IO file. Okay, so now we can go to the HMI simulation of this project. So how you can see, this is our IO file. I insert here, for example, value number 50, and now I change the value of the process tag of this IO field, and also this IO field show this value, for example 120. Okay, 50, 25. Okay, but also you can use some animation for this IO file. They are in the properties of this IO file and in the section animation. And here you can use 3 types of animation. First is appearance, second is control enable, and third is visibility. Control enable I think you can use only in the comfort panel, but I'm not sure. Okay, first we look on the appearance. You click on the add new animation and choose which one, or here you click to insert the appearance animation into your IO file. Okay, we go to the appearance, and now here you insert the tag which control the animation of this IO field. So we use the tag which we display on this IO file. Okay, here you use what type of animation you need. This means range, multiple bits, or the single bit. For example, we use here the range, and this means when the temperature is between the 0 and, I don't know, for example 25 degree, the background color of the IO field will be light blue. This means, for example, it's very cold, the oil is very cold. Then when we are between 26 and I don't know, for example 80, then we change the background color of the IO field to green, and this, for example, mean okay, the temperature is okay, is green. Then when the temperature is, for example, too high, for this is, for example, between 81 and 200, then we change the background color to red. This means, attention, the oil temperature is too high. Okay, you can also use flashing here for this one. For example, we use flashing when we excite the high temperature. Okay, click on the yes and save it, and now we can try to simulate it. Okay, so how we can see, temperature is lower than normal value. This is why the background is light blue. Now we have the normal value 55 degrees. This means the background is green. And now we try to violate high limit, for example 120 degree, and how you can see the background is red and also flashing. So how you can see, animation appearance works fine. Then we try, for example, control enable animation. For this, when the process tag is between some range, or the single bit have a state 0 or 1, then you can use the control enable animation to enable or disable this IO fault, to control this IO fault. For example, for this we use internal bool tag and the single bit OK. And for this mean, when the single bit is true, we enable the controlling of this IO field, and when this internal bool is 0, then we disable using the IO field. Here you can see. Okay. So we save the project. Also, insert here another IO file for inserting the value of the internal bool tag. Okay. Save the project and try to control enable animation in the simulation. How you can see, we can't control the IO file because the process tag of the control enable animation is 0. Now we change it to the number 1, so we mean to the true, and now you can see you can control and insert the value into the IO file. We change it back to the 0, and we again can't insert the value to the IO file and the process tag of the IO file. Okay, how you can see, control enable animation works fine, and at least we have here visibility animation. Okay, we insert it, and here is the same as like in the control enable, but here you can change the visibility of the object IO file. This means, again, for example, when the internal bool tag is 0, then the object IO file is visible, and when the internal bool tag is true, then this IO file is invisible. Yes, okay. So when the internal bool is true, then it's invisible, and when it's false, then it's visible. So now we go try it again in the HMI simulation of the TIA portal. Now here, how you can see, internal bool tag is false. This means this IO file is visible, and when we change it to the true, then it's invisible. So this is how the visibility animation works for the IO fields and also for the all objects in the HMI. So this is the animations, and also here is some events of the IO fields, but this we show in later lessons. Okay. This also you can change the text for the tooltip when you use more than one languages in your HMI visualization. So okay, I think this is all for this video, where we showed how to work with IO field in your HMI project, how to use it, how it works, and also how to use some animations and the properties of this object in your HMI project. So thank you for watching this video, and goodbye.